Okay, welcome back to Canadian Corner. I am joined by my co-caster here, Silver,
Hello.
and I am Liddell. We are casting the One Tricks versus Die for Vision, which is a Division B East game in Season 9 of NGS. Currently, the One Tricks are on the climb. They just came off a domination victory, and they're middle of the pack team. They're definitely going to make playoffs, but they're kind of fighting for where they seed in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Die for Vision is in a desperate fight to keep a playoff position as they played the most games in the league, and only have two matches after this one to get points in.
This is actually their second last match.
Yeah,
No,
so they
so
have
they
two
have one
games.
more after this one.
Right.
Yeah.
In the Season 9, in terms of the maps that were banned, we have the One Tricks banning Battlefield of Eternity and Sky Temple. Meanwhile, Die for Vision has banned Alterac Pass and Tomb of the Spider Queen. The Die for Vision getting first map pick and One Tricks getting first pick in the draft. Die for Vision is taking us to Infernal Shrines for Game 1. So we can...
You ready to start the game then?
Yeah, I think we're ready.
I think it's important to note that Infernal Shrines, I think, is the most popular map this season in B East. So, not surprised.
It was up there in Season 8, at least for B East as well. So I think it's just...
very popular map all around, I think. A lot of teams feel safe here.
Yeah, I think it's because it has a bit of everything. It has a bit of... a lot of team fight on the objective, but then also a lot of camps for macro play. So.
Yeah. Although, it's always interesting when teams take people here, I find, because, you're choosing a safe map for yourself, but because everyone plays on this map so much, it's not like you're picking a weaker map for your opponent either. I find this map also often becomes a toss-up kind of thing. I'm always interested for the reason why people take them here. So, if you don't mind, I will introduce the people this time, Liddell.
Go ahead.
So, on the side of One Tricks, blue, we have Keel. On Stukov, we have Rise Robin. On, I think that's Sonya there. We have Lunara, played by Kotip. We have Royals, spazzing out on Joanna. And we have Tassadar as a ship, played by Sledge. Michael on the side, on the side of Die for Vision, we have Michael on Blaze, Darker Black on KT, or Kel'Thas. Selfide playing Cassia. Atlas playing Anubarak, equally spazzing out. And then, who are we missing? We're missing Deckard, played by Shamhat. So, Liddell, what do you think about the teams here?
Well, I see on the side of Die for Vision, we see a double tank coming out. We have Anubarak and Blaze. I assume Anubarak's going to be the main tank, and Blaze is going to be the offlaner. And then we have Cassia, who's kind of emerged as an AA character in this new meta, with a mage in KT. So I think it's pretty standard for this map. I worry about their wave clear in terms of clearing camps that are pushing in a solo lane. They'll probably send KT to clear that or Blaze. But that's my initial thoughts about Die for Vision.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the Die for Vision's running double tank, but they're both tanks, in my opinion, that are a little, less tanky. So I'm glad they're doing, two, just to compensate for that. Anubarak, I've been finding, is in a weak position at the moment, but they are against Tassadar and a Lunara as the DPS. Lunara doing a bit more mage damage than the typical AA. So hopefully that is enough for Anubarak to survive. I don't know, we'll just see how fast he's bursted this game. Yeah, and how do you like the One Tricks build, Liddell?
So I was just showing talents there for a second to give viewers a chance to look at that. In terms of the team comp, well, they got the meta tank in Joanna, this is her best map, in my opinion, by far, because if you take cooldown reduction talents, you can get cooldowns up really fast on the objective with all of the minions you're hitting constantly.
Okay, we see a fight for the cannon. Anubarak, again, as I mentioned, getting very low. The Lunara just keep poking at him, as the camp will go to One Tricks, and Anubarak's just going to sort of dive out there.
I would say smart decision to back out of that. This camp isn't very important. It's pretty easy to clear. And you don't want to risk early deaths on this map for a snowball.
It is doing decent damage to that turret there. It might take that if it's not cleared very quickly.
As I was saying about the One Tricks team, they also picked up the Tassadar, who I think is emerging as definitely a meta mage, maybe one of the overall meta characters in the game. And then you have kind of constant sustained damage with Lunara. I would say maybe you're lacking a bit of burst on the side of the One Tricks.
Yeah, but
tons of
Tassadar just
sustain.
does so much damage too, though.
Yeah, I agree. And then Sonya, who's great on this map for the same reason Joanna's good. Tons of minions constantly everywhere to heal off of, and of course she's great wave clear as well and camp clear. So I think just a solid kind of nothing surprising, I would say, from that draft. Just kind of
Yeah, I agree.
all bases covered, except maybe on the burst side. But Tassadar does offer a little bit of burst.
Yep. I also just want to point out that I wish Die for Vision took a hold of Globe Quest at one. They could have had like 3 there and just been traveling as a unit. I think that would have just been very funny as a side note.
Definitely, Nubarak missing out on the globe party there.
So we do see the usual fight for top objective. Sometimes teams actually opt to not take this first objective and just push a lane. That's a very common strategy of river rotations, also from Divi. We do see some light poking out going. More minions are being taken by the One Tricks, though, as that counter goes up a little faster. But that version not far behind. Trying taking a little bit of damage, but that's not as important, especially on this map where she heals so fast at this objective. Michael and Cassia being forced up by the Joanna and Lunara, though. A quick turnaround there as both of them pop their unstoppables. Well, I guess Blaze is not unstoppable, but yeah, Sonya's still on the objective taking some things. Now that the rest of One Trick is pushed off, it's going to collapse on Rise Robin here. Vector missing his root as Blaze stunning the back line, but Lunara now getting low too, but both of them seem to be able to get out. Although maybe not Sonya with a nice Kale stun and combo. She's going to fall. Deckard this time getting the root on the Lunara, and she's going to fall too. A great fight by the Die for Vision as Royal then falls. On top of that, stayed a little too long. This looks like they might be able to get most of the objective here, if not all of it. But keep in mind, die tempers are low. We have Sonya already coming up. So if they rush, they might get here on time, but it's unlikely.
Something we've seen a lot of lately, Silva, on this map, is actually teams not fully communicating on the objective, and some people clearing, some people team fighting, and kind of not having synergy there. I think that applies to what happened to the One Tricks, where you had Sonya clearing that whole time, and then a 4v5 with the rest of the team.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's okay if your team's aware of what they're doing and not heavily going in. But as we saw, like, it wasn't the 4-man that lost or got pushed out in any way. It was Sonya was too slow to retreat when the 4-man assistance was got caught out.
Right, but I think that's also because the 4-man took enough damage over the course of that fight that they couldn't really dive in to save Sonya to the extent that they needed to.
I don't know how much damage they took. I think it was more just the pressure of 5v4 was enough to back them off enough. But also note that where they fought is where most teams tend to lose a lot of people. Like, we fought there personally, and it always ends in our loss. And it's always everyone's a little mad at everyone else for their positioning. So I think it was just also a really good play for Die for Vision to engage in that corner in that way. So we do see Punisher taking almost all top fort and the wall. That's actually a very good first Punisher. Typically it only takes the wall. Yeah, and we saw both teams still laning a little during that as well.
Yeah, definitely a well-timed Bruiser camp should be able to finish off that top fort for the side of the Die for Vision.
Yeah.
I'd also like to mention that, you know, a Nubarak is looked at as a squishy tank, but because of his W, which reduces spell power, he actually is quite tanky against the One Trick's team composition, because even though Lunara is an auto attacker, most of her, or half of her damage comes from her DOTs, which I believe counts as spell damage.
I think they are still damage, yes. We see a nice gank on Rise Robin. Nubarak missing a stun and Deckard missing the root. Rise Robin just spitting to win right out. But they're not really here for it. They're just here for the fort, and they're just going to be happy to say goodbye. We'll take the objective. But if we look bot, there we have the One Tricks returning the favor, taking a lot of damage with bot. And I think this trade is extremely good for the One Tricks, as they're basically trading an almost dead fort for a full health fort and wall. But we're going to see if they can be punished as Die for Vision coming down. It's a 5-man here. There's only 3 left. 4 down here with Royal split heavily. A nice Tassadar wall going to save him as he walks out. Lunara now, a lot of pressure under her. She's now cocooned. Royal trying to free his ally as Blaze ulting. He's going to hit the Lunara, but she's just going to jump out as Tenzar here. We also have the Keel and Stukov all the way back with Darker Black. I don't see how Stukov gets out of this one. He might be in a little bit of trouble here. Just
Definitely.
trying to back, yeah.
Even if Stukov falls here, which Stukov may have wanted to fall a bit earlier to offset, not offset death timers. Although Cassia falls mid
Cassia
lane.
falling mid. And Sonya pushing top this whole time too.
Yeah, this has been a really bad sequence of events for Dive Vision for sure. Losing your fort, trading 1-for-1 kills in that scenario, and Sonya putting a ton of pressure.
Too. That was a fantastic play from One Trick to just push that bot lane, and you know, while they're pressured and ganking to do things other places than that, they're just applying a lot of pressure where Dive Vision isn't. It's just a nice play on the macro side.
In all of that fighting, we didn't catch the level 10 pickups, so...
Any of that surprise you here, Ludo?
Important to note, Sonya took Berserker over Leap. I don't mind that pick.
Also, the Archon coming up from the Tassadar, because we only see Archons with more AA heavy teams. But I'm interested with that pick into a Nubarak. I think that might have been the right call there, just to be able to burn him that much quicker.
We also see a combustion, which we already saw out of the Blaze, which is...
Well, Blaze just going right into the Joanna, though, and popping the combustion, but a Nubarak using the Cocoon on Sonya, she's going to just avoid all that damage with the Cocoon. Taylor, again, popped on Sonya, but she's going to spin the win out. And that's a few ults gone for Dive for only the Stukov swipe and ult. Although I think Sonya did pop Berserker to survive there as well. So, but only Cassia's ult remains. We still have 3. They're going to go in right here. Michael getting a great start up the back line. Dekaroo coming out once again, studying the Sonya. She tries to retreat. Blaze, though, going down to the Lunara. But, you know, Royal getting low and Kotip not able to go in. Dive is once again going to be able to push them out. Can they get these last 11 minions in time before One Trick heal up and go back in? And the answer is no, as Royal just diving right in. A Nubarak taking heavy damage. This time, though, Cassia getting walled off. Nubarak jumping in to try and save her, but she's going to... Nope, no, that's a great decoration, but she is going to go down. And so is a Nubarak? No? Yes? No, Nubarak's going down here. And that's, you know, 2 more kills with Tail taking heavy damage, going to E his way out of there. And Punisher going to One Tricks. And the fact that they already have the fort down from earlier means they're going to be pushing into keep.
So that's a 3-for-1, 3-for-none, I should say. And with Camp pushing top, Sonya pushing mid, this is a lot of pressure on the map right now. And I think Dive Vision is being put in a pretty big hole that it's going to be a hard fight to dig themselves out of at this point.
Yeah. Anubarak, though, getting stunned. Rooted, follow-up, and just blown the heck up there. This is what we were talking about, how Anubarak can be squishy in some situations. It just did not last a second there. Didn't even E out, which is probably what he was hoping to do.
Sonya picking up mid.
Blaze going to contest there, but that means the bot's going to have no tanks as bot keep does fall.
They do have a win condition now through bot lane.
Yeah. And they also have a 2-level lead, which is, although not super important at the moment, that means they're going to get 16 significantly earlier than Dive Vision. Just elected to paint the map blue, as they say, get all the camps. Sonya going top here as well.
So I'm going to ask you my pattern question when the team is on the ropes. What can Dive Vision do to get themselves back into this game?
This is looking really rough as they're down 2 structures, 2 levels. I think obviously right now they need really to focus on Soak, or they need to start watching where the Sonya is. The Sonya is almost always constantly overextended by herself here. I think if they do a nice gank on her, they can kill her, get a few waves with Soak, maybe even try and take a 4v5. But what they don't want is Blaze to be ganked here. Hopefully One Trick's didn't hear my advice, as he's going to go down, and they have a 5-man top to push hard on this fort, and I think that fort's going to go down. So I think Dive Vision had to do exactly what the One Tricks did, and now they're in a very sticky spot.
One thing I've noticed in team fights is a lot of the CC and damage has been going on to Sonya, and Sonya's been shaking it off with her self-healing. I think you might want to see more of a dive strategy onto onto characters
I
that might
actually,
be easier to finish off.
I actually disagree. I think Sonya's barely living because she's not being focused enough. Oftentimes at the beginning of fights, we see Blaze hitting the Tassadar and Stukov in the backline. And although that's good, I think they need that stun for the Sonya, or at least the Blaze combustion not to be overlapped with the Anub Cocoon. I think both situations involve a kill thing for Sonya, and then I think just to get out and re-engage with 4v5 give up.
We do see a 16 advantage here, so it will be tough for Dive Vision to pick a fight until they get that 16 talent here.
Although, one-tricks aren't really in a position to pick a very good fight. Like, they can pick the fight here top, but there is 4 people with Cassian nearby, and they do have towers to go under. They might be taking a lot of damage here if they want to push this.
Important to note, Stukov doesn't have a ton of single target healing. I think they, to your point, I think if they maybe just focus on tanks, but I would argue maybe even Joanna, because that damage sticks onto her a little bit better than it does onto Sonya.
Yeah, I mean, also they keep on trying to kill Sonya on the point, and the objective, which I think you mentioned earlier is like what makes her heal so crazily. So maybe you're right with the Joanna.
Yeah, this is the same talent here. This is Dive Vision's only way back into this game, and that's winning a team fight on this objective right now.
Yeah, I mean, they did it in the beginning of the game. Maybe they can do it again, the same place.
Although it seems like team fights have changed since alts were picked in the favor of the one trick.
Yeah.
They might want to clear out this camp first before they pick a fight, though.
Looks like they're not going to do that as Blaze goes very deep onto the back line, Noob following, but Royal just going unchecked into the front line. Not taking a lot of damage, but he did stop them enough to postpone that follow-up. Sonya once again getting Cocoon. Noob going onto Tassadar. Blaze missing a stun, but trying to cut off the caster. Royal here. Sonya's now free. She's going to start spinning to winning, doing some damage. Noob at half health. Blaze getting very low. A great stun from Joanna, just stunning the backline as Blaze now falls. This doesn't look good for Dive Vision, as they do get the Sonya finally, but they get the Deckard, and with the Noob being chased and Joanna just barely making it alive. Oh, can Cassie do a turnaround play here, or with Stukov? No. Yeah, that was a 2-for-1, which is great for one tricks. That confirms their victory here on the objective almost completely. Cassie here staying around to poke, but now Joanna just running at her face. I'm getting a nice heal from Stukov to keep her out, and I don't know what she can really do here.
I mean, in these situations, I would like to see a couple camp pickups while the enemy team's on objective, just to tie the lane pressure that you're feeling right now.
Looks like instead they're just opting to clear the waves. They do have to clear bot, as there's a huge wave pushing there. But objective goes to one tricks.
This could be win. This is a possible win condition here if they get a couple picks. So
it's important to note there is a catapult going bot lane here, so the longer this fight goes, they will be taking some core damage. Jumping onto a noob and just doing some light damage there. This is the Fire Punisher, so a lot of damage coming up from him, but no freezing the keep. I see Rise Robin getting some damage and going in. We see the Punisher doing a nice stun on Nubrak, as once again he's blown up, as we saw earlier. Stay well, listen, use. Joanna's just going to pop her D and walk out. As Sonya just going in very deep, taking some turret fire, but it's a little too late. They got the Anub kill, they sort of just got out. Royal almost dying there, but they did what they came for. They took a keep. You'll see bot lane 2 catapults pushing on bot. Darker than Black goes to deal with that, but 2 more fall, Cassie and Blaze. A nice wall coming in, probably going to solidify the death of Deckard here, as Darker Black, the only one left. I think this is game. It's also probably wise if you just show the level 20 talents here, Liddell, as the game ends, as we saw one trick's tick there toward the end of the fight.
Alright, well, from what we see here, level 20's picked up. They didn't matter, but let me switch to the stats pane. So yeah, these are the talents. We actually see a Q build from the Kel'Thas, which is predictable for this map, I guess, because of the objective.
Yeah. He also was doing fairly good damage with it. He being the highest member on his team, damage-wise, although it's not that surprising.
So I'm going to quickly set up the...
So, Do you have any final remarks about the game, though, Liddell, as you
As
set
I
some other?
as I just work on some background stuff here. I guess my major question to you, and this is a long-standing Tiny Dancer's argument. Um,
Mhm.
how do you feel after seeing that game? And my argument is that Blaze is in kind of a rough spot in which he kind of fits into very few team comps. And then on top of that, the combustion pick, I think, are the two most debatable aspects of that
Uh,
game.
so okay. So I'm actually going to reply to that with dodging the question and going to a little bit of a Nubarak as well. But I think the issue with Blaze is Blaze works expressively well with the dive comp, and that's sort of where he has to fit. He doesn't have like he sort of has good peel, but his kit is like built for going in. Like yes, you have good peel, but if you miss that E, you're gone. You're out of the city. Um, I think he can be played well with another tank that is peeling or doing other things. The issue is I think both Anubrak and Blaze sort of do the same thing. They bring the same thing to the table, which is a dive stun. You go in, you stun. Yes, Anubrak has his ultimate, which could cocoon someone, versus Blaze's attack speed slows and just general slows in general and map control. But both tanks really their kits are meant to do the same thing, and I think that's where they struggled because Sonya would just walk past them and then stun the back line or sort of attack the back line. Same with Joanna. And the issue with Blaze and Nubrak is they're also both not very damage heavy tanks. So yes, they can stun the backline for a little bit, but once their stuns run out, the backline's there with most of their health, and Sonya just out damages them both. Um, so I don't think this place was Blaze, but I also don't think it was because of Blaze itself. I think it was because Blaze and a Nubrak combo is not very strong. Also, as a tank main, I've played a Nubrak a few times, and I find a big thing for team fights is trying to find the right target to cocoon. And in my opinion, that target's not always obvious or who you think. Every fight, a Nubrak cocooned the Sonya. And I would have been really interested to see, him try to switch that up, especially when fights started going south Denmark so fast. Because I think what actually ended up happening is Sonya in her cocoon missed a lot of the damage, that AoE damage that was going up, like the Blaze ult a few times and other things.
Also, the Tassadar was putting his W on the cocoon, and it was melting the cocoon pretty
melting.
quickly.
I would have been very interested to see, the Lunara or the Tassadar cocoon, or even the Stukov for those anti-heals to help kill the Sonya, and just focus the Sonya as she, with all those stuns of Blaze Nubrak, she was very killable. She'd be cocooned, then half the team would die, use their stuns, and then she'd come out and, a Sonya versus a team that already used all their stuns, right? But also keep in mind, maybe Cocoon wasn't even the right call. Like Tassadar's W and Lunara's Poison just ripped that Cocoon apart. So maybe this is the time we should have seen Anurak's other ult.
So to explain your answer in one sentence, you think there was a lack of synergy between the DPS and the tanks, or between the tanks themselves?
Yeah, well, either the DPS had to be hard dive DPS, it's like Akira kind of thing, and they're going all in, or they needed another tank to split the utility, as both tanks provide similar utility. Okay. And do you mind if I'm just going to quit this replay and start switching up the game.
Yeah.
Do you have any other comments about this game, then, Liddell?
I guess the rewatch value from this game would have been seeing the real turning point in the game, and I think the turning point was actually when they traded forts, because it kind of erased Dive Vision's advantage, and then they followed that trade of forts up, or the One Tricks did, with a lot of pressure, a couple kills, and that really kind of turned the game for them. And then the level 10 seemed to favor the team fights of the One Trick. So, I guess the pivotal point for Dive Vision was that trade of forts, and seeing if the map advantage, if they held that map advantage into the level 10s, how that might have changed the gameplay a little bit.
Yeah, because I think Dive Vision's team as well, with their dive tanks, was very in favor of the win more strategy kind of thing. Where, like, if they were a few levels up, I think they would have gone a lot of easy kills. But as soon as you can't get those easy kills, the team fight becomes a lot harder.
For game 2, One Tricks have decided to go for Cursed Hollow. Dive Vision, losing that game, gets to decide whether they want first pick or map pick. They go for first pick. And
Very
so,
typical.
important to note that also Cursed Hollow, I believe, is the second most popular map in Division B East.
Yes, not with us though. We don't play a lot of Crystallo.
No, we try to shy away from it.
Yes.
Although don't let the pre-scout show that. um,
Don't worry.
it's kind of interesting
Let's have some
because
fun.
Infernal Shrines is a very brawly map and Cursed Hollow is a very macro map. So kind of opposites being the most popular.
Yeah, I mean, like we didn't really get to see a lot of macro from Die for Vision as I just start this game. Mostly just because One Tricks is applying so much pressure. So I'm interested to see if they have any pocket stress that they're willing to take out here. Liddell, do you want to just read the names here real quick?
Alright, on the side of the One Tricks, as I go over to the gameplay screen, we have Key on the Rhaegar, we have Siege on the Falstead, we have Royal on the Morganus, Rise Robin on the Urel, Ko-Tip on the Greymane. On the side of Die for Vision, we have bad timing on the loading screen as I just make sure we're zoomed out. Okay, we have Atlas on the Dahaka, we have Shamhat on the Deckard, we have Michael on the Joanna, we have Darker Black on the Phoenix, and we have Sulfide on the Tassadar. Any initial thoughts there, Silver?
The battle begins.
So first thing with always this map, I always just look like who has more global presence, and it seemed a little even. I typically favor Falstead over Dahaka, just as a personal preference. I think Falstead does more damage and has that bribe. Although which he did take, I just think that gives him a lot more global presence, so I'd have to give it to One Tricks just off the first glance. I think the Bloodlust or Ancestral Rhaegar is a very strong pick here, especially with a very heavy auto-attack team from One Tricks. On the other hand, if we look at Die for Vision, they got the Taskar, they have the Joanna from the Blinds, they have Deckard again for Stay a While Listen, a great way to shut down that Bloodlust. I don't really know who gets it off the first bat. I think map pressure goes to One Tricks, but I think I'm actually going to give the team fight a little bit to Die for Vision.
I would agree, although they are kind of low on CC for the Mal'Ganis. So that will be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Although a nice tongue from the Dahaka can be the winning or losing in this fight. I think also a lot will depend on who flies or teleports down first.
You also have the ability for Shamhat to be set up with pots on the objective, which is kind of an underrated ability on these kinds of maps. See the taunt back from Michael here. Some posturing. And we also see the Bruiser Camp being picked up by the One Tricks. Greymane, obviously one of the best camp getters in the game, especially when he's a healer supporting him.
You'll see the Siege coming up from Die for Vision. This is a very actually typical play on this map, just for those of you who don't know. Typically, because objective spawning bot, you want the Siege, whichever side Siege is closer to that objective, will take it early. And in exchange, the early camp will go on, of the Bruisers will go to the team who is like further away from the Siege. In this case, yeah, so we'll see actually, there's a little bit of a team fight mid if that Siege camp pushes in. We'll see that Siege from One Tricks getting taken out during the objective pop, so that it'll push wall objectives up. Meanwhile, they want, that division wants their Siege to push before objective comes, so not everyone's in that lane, kind of.
And also so you can get Siege up again for when your next objective is in the opposite side of the side of the map, speaking north-south terms, so that it can push during objective.
Yep, and as we see, they're just basically both teams are mirroring, they're taking their other camps. The Die for Vision sort of wants this mid camp to push low objectives up. So I think they should actually wait a few seconds with it. They're taking a little early, although I don't know how fast Daphne can clear these 3 minions. Fairly fast, I'd assume. We do see Urel doing a little bit of damage to Phoenix at bot. And Dahaka taking a little bit of damage from Falstead up top. Nothing too crazy going on right now. Any talent interest to you, Lido?
No, pretty standard stuff from what I'm seeing. Yeah, I wouldn't say anything crazy. I think pretty much everything I expect.
We do see Rise Robin trying to poke the Phoenix who was capping down bot, taking a little bit of damage. Deckard getting able to set up just a touch, although there's only one potion there as Black had to take some. Hawk and Falstad both top, neither of them teleporting down. It is a 4v4 though. Dark and Black taking a lot of damage here. He's going to go down to the Mal'Ganis. Yeah, I think that means the One Tricks get this first objective. He might have been... Oh, a nice spell coming out from Deckard and Joanna, but, you know, I think with if the Hacker doesn't come, I don't think they can really do much here except slowly get rolled down. Nice, again, Telstar interrupts. He's going to get extremely low now. Joanna also very low and out of mana this time. I think they should give this up. Are they going to? No, Michael going in for another stun. You're all going to push him back and they're finally going to cap it. Yeah.
I think Dive Vision did a good job of not losing anyone else after the initial pick onto Phoenix. The Hack, of course, stuck top here with the Siege Camp pushing.
And falls dead. Yeah, they would have definitely taken a heavy toll if he teleported down.
Yeah, for sure. But he actually got off pretty well, only losing a bit of tower damage considering all that was going on up here. So
sure.
That's not bad. Unfortunately for Dive Vision, it will be a bottom tribute once again, and so this bottom camp will not be getting bottom siege, I should say, will not be getting as much value as it could.
Yeah, it's also this time that Phoenix is now taking the camp. Will Tassadar push his bot? I think that was actually a good trade as Phoenix was losing just a little bit to Urel. Well, Tassadar could try to get some stacks off on his Q quest. Down bot now on Urel.
We see a nice grab up from Dark at top, but not much is going to come of it.
Nope. He didn't activate his W until afterwards, unfortunately. I think that's his W is the circle thing, right?
Yes, correct. We do have a full setup of Deckard pots, though, which going in this to objective.
Yeah, and he did take Ruby, too, so there'll be more pots coming down the pipe as soon as this fight starts. We see Michael taking one just after the game starts. Is Royal already using a sleep just to seduce the Joanna, but not just going to come. Joanna looking though for the fight, doing a little bit of damage to Royal as some more small pots come out. Tassadar just trying to sneak in a cap as the teams fight, and he's going to do it. That's just a free cap, but didn't they get out? The Haka did teleport down with Falstad here, so they're getting into a fight here. Greymane almost going down, but now Dahaka's looking in trouble. He's going to bury, try to hope his team can get him out. He comes out, Deckard goes with one pot, doesn't get the second one, he goes down. Greymane going to walk out with 0 health as Mal'Ganis now going a little deep, but he does Mal'Ganis things and stuns, says goodbye.
That definitely made me a little scared for the side of Dive Vision when they stayed after they got the tribute, only suffering one death though.
It's also important to note, though, that they actually got lucky that One Tricks disengaged. Although they take boss now, they do have 10, so they sort of want the fight. Yell going top here. As Dive Vision actually start their own boss, just correctly calling that One Tricks is taking their boss. But One Tricks is taking it very quickly. They might actually be able to take it fast enough and rush up and contest the boss, especially as they all go a little bit in advance to run up.
As they run up, I will just quickly announce level 10s. Bloodlust from Rhaegar as we expected, Gust, Carrion Swarm, Argent Defender, and Curse Bullet on the side of the
Can't say anything surprised me. We're going to see boss go to both sides, but Rhaegar is very much set up to start taking the tribute, and with the stun and the sleep, that's just a free tribute. They do have the Falstad pushing bot, as all 4 of them are up here to try and kill that boss, so this boss down here is definitely going to take that forward. We're going to see if this boss up here does anything. I don't think it will, even though all 5 members of that position are here.
They will be losing bottom fort in all of this.
Yeah, and Doc's going to teleport down there.
Daka might be in a tough situation now that fort's down.
No, he definitely. Also just doing a lot of damage. I don't think he's going to be able to kill him, but he'll be pushed back. As now, One Trick's pushing top lane. Phoenix getting a nice ult. Is it going to be enough? It does take down Greymane as Royal now, very low health. Phoenix to do an aggressive teleport as Yell jumps in. Carrion Swarm coming out to protect himself. Yell though now taking some heavy damage. Nice Tassadar ult comes.
We do see the absorb.
With health and then jump out. We do see Falstad now pushing mid, just trying to get some more stacks. His bot is now cleared. It didn't really do anything to keep wall. We do have the bottom tribute spawning in 10 seconds, and Dive Vision is going to be the second team there, potentially. Which is not that good, especially because Deckard wants to set up. Yeah. Falstad going to bribe their camp, though, so they will have a camp pushing mid during this fight. So if this goes long, as the fights have been tending to do, this will not be good for Dive Vision. Nice instruct coming up from Falstead. Yeah, Michael going in deep. But you're very much right, it's the Mal'Ganis is just going uncontested onto the Phoenix. He's just going to bop him up, go for the sleep. Tassadar slept. Getting a full duration as Dahaka takes a lot of damage. He's going to try and pull in the URL, but she's going to pop her unstoppable with the Staywell Wisdom comes. Bloodlust going out. They're doing a lot of damage. Kramer's going to back it up, takes a little bit of damage. Joanna going for the stun and interrupt. Isolation on Mal'Ganis, he just walks in deep and gets care. Joanna now going down, taking a lot of damage from the Grave Name of Falstead. A great sleep onto the backline. It's like 4 of them. They're just going to push into this. Phoenix taking a lot of damage. Rail's stun going out. He's going to try and waddle his way out, but oh wow, Phoenix survives with the skin of his teeth as Mal'Ganis goes down this time. Now it's a 4v4. Falstead gusting them away. Rhaegar's going to try and take the cap. Urel's going to try and stall. Can they get there in time? Decker does. He has the mini pots to drop as well, even though this might be an objective going for Dive Provision. And it looks like they're not going to contest. One last try from Grey Maiden. That's it.
Important to note there, Dive Vision actually went into that fight with a huge ult advantage. Saw that ult advantage go away without any kills, and then it still ended up arguably winning that fight. So, kind of impressive fighting there from Dive Vision. There was definitely times I thought they were in for a full team wipe, and they managed to hold on.
I think that fight really turned once Mal'Ganis died. I think you're 100% right, where Mal'Ganis is just doing so much disruption on the backline that they're having a very hard time placing that damage where it needs to go.
Important to note, Bloodlust will be up for the next team fight.
Also, it's also just a few ult choices. We have Archon coming up from Tassadar. I don't think there's anything else that's that surprising coming out. We saw most of the ults in that fight itself.
I guess maybe Isolation from the Dahaka, although he's probably wanting to get that onto the Mal'Ganis in team fights. But just the amount of damage the Dahaka's been taking, I think the other ult was also viable.
I'm also interested to see if we have the blind ult, so the blind 16 talent coming from Mal'Ganis. You know, who cares if he uses isolation? He just presses that activatable, loses his vision anyways, and queues for days. Just a interesting counter pick kind of thing. Right. We just see a gate on Dahaka. He's going to get stunned by the Mal'Ganis, and then Burrow took a lot of damage to have to use his stacks to heal up. Now a lot of damage going to the Joanna. She's going to Bloodlust coming up, but still studying most of them for a large part of that duration. The Archon though coming up from Tassadar just doing a lot of damage. Joanna very low, try to heal her up as Dahaka gets stunned, and then Mal'Ganis. A nice pull on the Mal'Ganis. He's going to go down. Michael now turning onto the URL. A nice gust coming out. That's going to separate Phoenix from the team, but you know, with Mal'Ganis down, they don't really have a lot of options. And this is going to be, looks like this is going to be cursed for Dive Provision. Also important to note that Joanna goes to stop the camp top that was pushing that whole time, but there was a camp bot also pushing that took a wall. Dahaka and URL going to meet down there.
We're seeing a lot of value coming out from those sleeps. As we see Tassadar overextend.
Oh wow, Decker barely saving him. That was very impressive. I thought he was definitely dead to the Great Man. False dead.
Shen has Decker here, making a good support for DB Smiley's claim that he is now the best healer in the game.
So we do see mid-fort fall, and we do see some damage going on bot, but a large part of this curse is already passed, so I don't think they're going to get too much more objectives here outside of top 4.
You could see a boss play come out of this objective.
I would actually really like that.
Definitely with their positioning right now, I think that's a strong call, which they do end up going for.
They can take this boss fairly quickly, even without the Dahaka just putting that pressure on the bot, keeping the URL there. But yeah, I really like this play. They are gonna have to take this quickly, even with Joanna just trying to zone. Make sure no one sniffs this out. But yeah, that is, and we do see boss being taken now by One Tricks. But look how slow this is being taken. This boss is being taken by Dive Provision. Like they only now just finished it, and One Tricks is already like halfway done. I don't think they can rush down here in time before it's taken. Now, especially now with Falstead joining in just to speed that up. Wow, a real display of difference between the camp clearing abilities.
You still have a potential for some plays to come out of this situation, as you could. That bottom 4 is quite weak for the side of One Tricks. You could see an opportunity for Dive Vision to clear this boss and then quickly take that out.
Yeah, the one or two I worry about is with the fast boss taking, like, One Tricks is going to kill this boss way before Die for Vision does. As you see, the One Tricks boss is almost dead, while the Die for Vision boss is still like at 3/4 health. So, One Trick can really set the tone here, and I think they might do the same thing for top even. Nope, instead they're just opting to take mid vision and just split up and make sure they get their soak. They are going to have the level advantage here coming into the next fight, probably, with this decision. With this faster clear. But actually, Liddell, you might have been right. It looks like Die for Vision pushing hard bot.
I like this play. I think you're taking the gamble that One Tricks has gone to their bruiser and is taking that right now.
Yeah, although I do think this is a little bit of a snooze on One Tricks. I think they should have either pushed hard top, although they might take top anyways. So maybe I'm wrong. Or they should have just rushed bot to defend that, because there's like a clear decision making on what Die for Vision should have done.
Has destroyed a fort.
And top does go down too, so they both trade at 4
Trade with a camp pushing during this objective.
Although this camp's going to be cleared quite fast as it's on the way to the objective. And Deckard's already there at the objective, just putting down some pots, prepping. Darker Black going to have to get popped unstoppable on him, so that's going to be down for the fight, with 3 pots already for Deckard, now 4. So... Oh, a nice Tassadar combo. That's going to almost quickly eliminate, and that is going to quickly eliminate the Grey Man. Amalgam is finally coming in. He's going to be pulled, just stunned, and he's going to get a little bit of damage here. He's going to go down too. That was a great play by Die for Vision.
That was a really good gank. Yeah, I'm liking the way they're setting up the CC as their team. They seem very organized, and they seem to be all on the same page about which targets to focus.
I think they're playing much better this game, especially than last game. I think it looks like they're playing a lot better with tanks that aren't very aggro and sort of there with their team to defend the backline.
More setup tanks than make their own plays kind of tanks. Yeah.
We do see this mid wall though taking some heavy damage before they're going to back off. There's another tribute spawning very quickly with 2 members still down. They're in the bush here looking for a fight, but I don't know if One Tricks is going to give it to them.
I don't know if I like this play. I would rather them just set up for each tribute and kind of maximize the advantage that they have on the map. I know it's a minor detail and it's probably not going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, like, that also plays to your play style though. Like, you are a passive player. That was an aggressive play.
Watch your mouth. It's how you speak to me.
What are you going to do? Soak a lane?
Yes, I will. But I'll do it angrily, so man. There's nothing more I like more in this game than the passive aggressive lane soak.
Yeah, I know. And then you take the globe right before I get there, even though I have a globe quest. Yeah,
I'm in my own world. I'm just looking at all the lanes and all the soaking possibilities.
Anyway,
we will see camp advantage going into this next objective with Bruisers mid and Siege camp bottom, although a bit slow getting to that. They're going to try and get a invade on it? No, the DPS is too far away.
And we do see Darker than Black taking the siege there as the clear bot, so a lot of the camps though that they did get are going to be cleared probably before objective spawns.
The hacker trying to go top and get some of that clear before it pops, but that might leave him open to a gank.
Yeah, being very aggressive here. I really do like this. Look how Shabhat already traveling down to the objective, even though it's 20 seconds long, just to start potting it up. I think that's a really good play and a use of Deckard and its setup thing we were talking about earlier.
Michael also doing aggressive positioning there.
Yeah, but he's Joanna. He can sort of afford to do that. He also took the level 1 de-reduction trait, so he already had to pop the shield there. You know, it's not the end of the world. It'll be up in 15 seconds when objective pops.
We also see reduced cooldown on the walls from the level 20 talent from past.
Nalganis though coming behind, stunning the Phoenix. He's going to take a little bit of damage and force the Phoenix to back up, and Phoenix is going to be slept. As Deckard then sleeps, the team gets correspondingly slept. The Archon coming out, going to do a little bit of damage. Isolation going on Greymane as Phoenix ulted, only hitting the one target though. Bloodless coming out, only hitting the back line though, but Tahaka going down so quick. A lot of damage going out there. Joanna gets a nice retreat help, but you know, there's too much damage on the Tahaka. The sleep going out on the back line. Now your Raoul on them. They're just taking a lot of damage. Nice gust, level 20 gust, to constantly push them back. Now all of a sudden, Diverge is on the wrong side of the map. Man down, Darker than Black going down. Kota taking a lot of damage here, but doesn't quite go down. Shaman having to retreat at Sulfide is slowly chased down by the Falstead, and also the Joanna finally going down to the Great Man. This is going to be a curse on the side of one tricks, and with 4 people down, this could be a win.
I,
You'll see a lot of people chasing down this old man here.
I think it definitely could be a win. I think that's the play here, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, that fight just
still...
going along. You see level 20 is really changing the game, especially that really long Bloodlust, and also Deckard was forced to, but would definitely popped his sleep before Bloodlust was popped, which is pretty much what that Rhaegar is waiting for.
I mean, it would have been a really, really good sleep with a lot of follow-up. The issue was Melganis just slept his whole backline, so, they don't care that they have their backline slept. Royal was just like, you too, bud. But mine's on a 10-second cooldown.
And we do not see the one-man defense going out, and Shamhat's given up, sitting in core. And that is the end of game 2.
Might say Deckard's the best healer, but it's not that good.
Well, he doesn't have quite as good an ult as Rhaegar, that's for sure.
No, well, I honestly would say, like, stay a while and listen, especially level 20 with the Silence and Blind. It gets a lot of value and could change the team fight. It's just a lot more conditional on its victory. Where Bloodlust is you just pop it, it's 18 seconds, you're going to get some value.
There's no finesse to Bloodlust. You just pop it and start whacking things, that's for
sure. I've seen teams utterly destroyed by stay a while when they get a 5-man sleep and then slowly picked apart.
I would agree, although there's a lot of AoE on the side of Die for Vision, so they can't really focus that one target in the sleep. They kind of have to wake them all up to get the value. But it does set up a bunch of abilities, that's for sure.
Especially though with Tassadar, if you get a few people with that Q, even if you don't kill them, that's just so much damage. Although interestingly, we don't actually see a quest finished by Tassadar at level 1 quest, which I think is a sign of how long he spent doing those camps early game. I would have been more interested to actually see the Phoenix with the Deckard solo the camps, although I don't know if you could solo them that early, or sorry, duo them that early. So Liddell, anything about the game you want to talk about?
I really liked that Cursed Hollow game from Die for Vision. It's just when you get to late game, you run the risk of if you do full man wipe, it's game over, especially if a fort's down and Cursed is up. Yeah, I think they had a good team. They definitely had more of a plan, or at least an easier to execute plan in this game, and so I'll give them that. I think, but I think the Bloodlust right now, even though it was slightly countered with the Stay a While and Listen and the Joanna blinds, I think it's just so strong. It's almost idiot proof. Not to say the one tricks are idiots or anything. Just you basically pop it and you just start whacking, right? It's like as I said earlier. It's just so easy to execute right now.
I also think that when you're facing a Bloodlust team, you don't need like something to delay Bloodlust, you need something to fully disengage your team. So like, Stay a While Listen can sleep them for a long time, but like Deckard's stuck there too. You're not really leaving, you're just stalling.
Yeah.
And once you hit that level 20 with that 18 seconds, maybe the other ult from the Tassadar, although less damage, could have potentially set up more. Because the black hole does push them away, and you can walk the other way at the same time.
I would agree. I think it was a good series. I think Die for Vision's definitely going to be kicking themselves with that game too, with how close they were to turning that game to their side.
Especially because they need those wins for playoff seeding.
And if we look at the playoff implications of this game, it's huge. One tricks, if I quickly go over to the standings on my screen here, I see that the one tricks is now up to 4th place, clearly locked into the playoffs, now competing for a home advantage in the first round and possibly a high seed. Now Die for Vision really fighting for it. They're in 7th place right now, but they've played 2 more matches than pretty much everyone in their
lower than
in their area, both lower and higher than them. It's gonna be a tough road. I don't know exactly who their remaining games are against.
Their one remaining game is against Duraton's Couch, which is currently the number 8th seed when they're number 7. So if they don't get wins there, they're effectively almost out of the playoffs.
It's definitely going to be a must-win game. Whoever caster picks that game up, that's going to be exciting because Duoton's
Yeah.
Couch is also in a tough spot. They're in the 8th spot. They've 3
They
games
do have
left.
3 games left. Yeah.
Um,
So can make their way up.
They can definitely make their way up, but if they choke a couple games here, that's going to be really, really important in their last game against.
Especially with the House of Chaz turning around and climbing out from the last place to 10th.
Comeback story of the
Stop.
year, for sure.
Yeah,
if they
the
make
real
the
exciting
playoffs.
team. Yeah, but anything positive to say about either team before we end, Liddell?
I like the way they pivoted their draft. Division did in the second game. I think the One Tricks are showing that they can be really strong when they kind of get a team they're comfortable on, and kind of it's kind of interesting because I think they did get the advantage of the Falstead there. I think their macro was slightly stronger just because of the kit that Falstead has to steal camps, clear things a bit faster than Dahaka, and also do damage. And the Gust. The Gust is a huge ult. I think has a lot more impact than Dahaka's ult, either of his ults.
Although Isolation could sometimes, I think they really need the Isolation for now games, that fight. I'd argue that Isolation could have just as much impact as Gust sometimes.
I agree. I think
yeah.
But I mean, also
Gust,
Isolation, you have a high miss percentage. Not high miss,
yeah,
but
yeah.
a lot more than other ults.
Gust is definitely way more likely to give the big plays, but Isolation on the occasion can really shine through.
But I think I've definitely liked both of the seasons so far from these two teams. I know the Division took a game off of us, and they've been kind of deemed the giant killers as they're taking games off of all
I
the
think
top
they dominate
teams
Turkey
now.
Gooses. They're the 4th seed, although they're probably going to rise higher in the coming games.
So it's good games all around. Be interesting to see how the last few weeks of the season really close out the standings.
All right.
Well, this has been Canadian Corner. This is Season 9 NGS Division B East. One Tricks versus Division. One Tricks taking the domination, but a lot closer than the score would tell.